Hey listeners, welcome to Baggage Claim. I'm your host, Lauren Osborne, and as you know on this podcast, it is a spot where everyone has baggage. We examine the contents, we pick a souvenir, and we pick something to check in. On today's episode, I am joined by Janelle Torres. You may have heard her before on the episode Heavy Ass Bags, as we talk about what it looks like to be liberated and how we are designing our liberated lives. And please excuse my voice now and during recording. I am fighting a cold, and apologies for the delay. Hope you enjoy. Hey listeners, welcome to Baggage Claim. I'm your host, Lauren Osborne. And as you know on this podcast, it is a spot where we recognize that everyone has baggage. It looks different for everyone. And each episode, me and a guest will unpack some contents of the baggage, decide what we want to check in and what souvenirs that we want to keep. So I am joined by a very special guest. You've heard her voice before. And she was awesome enough to grace us with her presence again. Let's give it up, y'all, for Janelle Torres. Woo! I had to make sure I did it big this time, you see?
Listen, guys, I think I more than deserve. I more
You
than
deserve it.
earned such an intro. I mean, thank you, Lady Lauren.
I mean, you're welcome. Do you ever miss Clubhouse?
I do. I haven't been on it. So I go on it from time to time. To some of the listeners that did not listen to our old episode, I met Lady Lauren, and that was her Clubhouse name. I met her on Clubhouse. So just, backstory for some of you guys.
Backstory.
I still go on it from time to time. I haven't been on it because of the holidays and just currently have been busy with work and some personal stuff. But I go on it. I don't really go into public rooms the way that we used to back in the day. But I still have some friends that I keep in touch with, and we have like little private rooms on there. And so we'll catch up and we'll talk and we'll have some of our we'll watch shows or they'll watch like movies together and we're just commenting, just like it's nice. It's like background noise, but it's kind of like the way that I can describe it is like we all have that one best friend or that one friend where you're on FaceTime and there's moments where you're not even talking to each other. You're both doing your own thing, whether one is working and one is like taking care of like their family. Ergo, I'm using this example of me and my best friend. And like, we're not speaking to each other, but we're just on the phone together. So you just don't feel like alone type of thing. And I think like that's kind of what Clubhouse did for a lot of people, especially in the pandemic. Like it
definitely did for me. Comfort. It was so helpful. And working at the hospital was so dreary that it was such a good background noise and conversation. I mean, I don't miss it, but I do. I miss the Club Bravo room, because can you imagine that room when this Salt Lake City finale? I'm talking about listeners, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm a Bravo person.
It all leads to Bravo. I mean, Bravo brought us together. It makes sense all the time.
But did you watch it live yesterday?
No, I don't watch Salt Lake City.
Okay.
This is Lauren's trying to hold her judgment and trying to be composed.
I'm not, because I'm going to be honest. I didn't finish Salt Lake City season 2 or season 3. I was just over it. I can be honest. Like, I just wasn't into it. It's like Jen Shah's a felon and she's in jail now. And it wasn't giving. But this season, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. And last night's revelations was cinema.
I think, okay, this is my thing with Salt Lake City, and you can hate me if you want. I don't care. I just don't. Just kidding, but not kidding. I just feel like it's kind of like Real Housewives on steroids. Like I feel like it's the camp version of Real Housewives, and it's a lot. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like Housewives has been on long enough where like definitely season 1 of Salt Lake City, it felt like all of them grew up or like have been watching Housewives for so many years. So it just didn't like, I don't know, like I just don't connect with the Salt Lake City women.
Hmm.
Although I love me Lisa Barlow. I think, who can, I do, you know what it is?
Really?
I love the Sundance queen. I think it's just her love of fast food. I love her. I don't know, like I just find her to be funny and entertaining, and I love me a delusional queen. I said what I said. So,
I'm a
but
Marxist. I'm a Meredith Marx girl. Um,
ooh, oh,
she,
I can't stand, like, I don't know, like it's her of all people that I can't
mm,
figure her out. I don't know if she's playing a camp or if she's just that campy. This is
she
her day-to-day
is that
shtick.
campy, and yet she is. She just. I'm gonna say it. I mean, I say skip all the rest and watch this final season. You don't even need a history. But I will only say that because Meredith Marks clocked into work. She I mean, wow, she's owed a lot of apologies at this reunion, and that's all I can say. I mean, literally,
I mean,
I
I
mean,
just, I don't
incredible.
know.
We're
I
going
don't know.
off on a tangent.
I know
I have
we
warm up
we
questions.
already are, and that just is perfect for what you wanted this episode theme to be. But
Yes.
I will say this, and we can talk about it further in the episode.
Hmm.
I'm good with watching. I'm not gonna go back into Salt Lake. I'm not gonna like pick it up because I've
Hmm.
kind of been slowly, and I've talked about it a little bit with you, and I've mentioned it briefly on my TikTok back in the like day, like a year ago, because
Hmm.
I've been off of TikTok for a bit, but
Hmm.
um I'm slowly, I don't think I'm growing out of Bravo, but I'm like
Moving
a
away
bit
from
weaned
it.
off of Bravo, and I don't know what
Hmm.
this means, guys. I don't know. I've been having like an existential crisis about it. I don't
It's
know what
I don't
this is.
I don't know. I think what it is because I realize like people be like, "What are you watching?" Like I know the Gilded Age is out. I haven't even watched this last season, but I have watched Real Housewives. That's it on the Bravo, right? I've limited my intake, but I will say, like, I have a friend who I think she was so submerged in the scandal of it all from
Hmm.
Vanderpump Rules that she started reading, and I mean reading, like getting like just knocking books out, and like her Bravo. I think she just had enough, right? So if she watches Bravo, it's like on Peacock the next day and in chunks, and then she'll just start talking about the shows, which is fine with me. Like it doesn't feel so, dare I say it, like religious, you know what I mean? Like is
You
that
know what
what it
it
is?
is? I think I think I'm probably burnt out on
Mm-hmm.
Bravo. I think it's kind of like I'm the kid that went to like that never got candy as like a child. Like I would like, or when I would have candy, it was so like limited. And so then finally I went to like the chocolate factory, which was a la Clubhouse and like Club
Mm-hmm.
Bravo, and meeting all these people that were Bravo holics, like on the level and obsessed
Yes.
with like me. And it was just like, oh, Bravo, 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 like Bravo, Bravo,
Mm-hmm.
like Beverly Hills, there's all these scandals. And we're all like enclosed at home.
Tom Girardi, Jen Shah.
Yeah, this, that, this is, but oh my God. And like now I'm just kind of like, and I think maybe it's a combination of like real life shit started happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to take kind of like a pause, not a la Dorinda style, but I took a pause. And it's just one of those things where I'm kind of burnt out. I don't think I'll ever stop watching Bravo. I love it. I just feel like I don't have the desire or the need, because we were watching Bravo like as soon as the new episode was out, we were watching it. We were talking about it like an hour right after. We were talking about it
Mm-hmm.
that morning. It was a lot, and it was fun. It was a good time, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just that I think I'm just probably burnt out, and I'm just doing other things, and I have other
Mm-hmm.
interests that I'm picking up, and Bravo's just taking a back seat right now. I don't think it'll ever be gone, but I do notice that I have not been watching Beverly Hills. I haven't watched none of the new episodes, nothing. I haven't watched a lot of the new episodes of I haven't watched any of Potomac, and I love me Potomac. Like that's my love. I haven't been watching anything. I
I'm on
think I'm
clip
just
mode
burnt
with
out.
Potomac. I'm on clip mode because I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's getting lazy, and I watch it I watch clips online because it's getting lazy.
But it's not even that. Like even Miami, and I love me Dr. Nicole. I haven't watched it all. I think I'm just burnt out, and I'm never gonna have. I don't have regrets about being burnt out because I think Clubhouse and Club Bravo I made so many amazing friendships. I mean, me and you, we met each other that way. Literally, I have so many other amazing friendships. Some of who like I've literally like traveled to see. Some have traveled to see me here. To this day, like some of them are like one of my bestest friends. So I have no regrets over it. And it led me to do some courageous things, but I just, I just need a break. I just need a break from Bravo, and that's just where I'm at. So answer long. I did not see Salt Lake City last night.
Well, I have warm-up questions, but I feel like we've already warmed up. But these are fun, right? This is a fun random episode, right? Okay. So I'm going to pick the cards and then we'll each answer. If everyone had to decide on their career path at age 6, what would your life look like now?
Oh, okay. I already know. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be in movies.
Nice.
I wanted to be an actress. Yeah. I wanted to be in movies.
Do you still want to be an actress? Do you still want to be in movies?
I don't know. No, I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, sure. But I'm trying to think, how old are you when you're 6? Like, is that like kindergarten age? First grade?
Right?
Yeah. Cause then I remember in 3rd grade when I learned about writing, and that's when you would write stories and you have your sloppy copies and all these things. I realized that like being an actress wasn't enough. And that's when I found out that like there are people that write stories and the stories become movies, like movies are stories. And that's when I learned about like screenwriting. And I wanted to like be the person that wrote the quotes. Because at first I thought when I was a kid, I wanted to be the person that said the amazing quote that everybody else quotes. Like, like I remember watching certain movies and I remember I love this quote and I would say it over and over again. And like Julia Roberts said it. And so like I would repeat the quote or whatever. And I thought I wanted to be Julia Roberts, the person saying the quote that's always memorized and everybody quotes to this day.
Right.
Like The Godfather, like you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, like everybody quotes that, anything. It's like so meta in so many things, right? And then I realized that somebody wrote that. And then I wanted to be the person that wrote that. It wasn't enough to just be the person that said the quote. I wanted to write the quote that connected to people or made someone feel something. So, and that happened around 3rd to 4th grade. But if we're going off of 6-year-old me, I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be in movies.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to think of mine, and I don't know, if anything. That's the crazy part. I think about it and I'm like, I wanted to be someone's boss.
You know what? I'm not mad at it. You know how many TikToks I've been seeing of people like, they're like, how parents thought we played. And it's just like, oh, here I am, color on the coloring book. And then how we really played. Us like clacking on a freaking typewriter. How much did we all love, like certain millennials? Did we all like love office supplies and being like
literally
adults, like cash register people and like secretaries
I remember
and a typewriter.
that, like having like my own store, and I just wanted to like kind of run it. But I just wanted to be someone's boss. Like, that's what it is. Like,
yeah. Our obsession with with adult activities. We want to, or like there was someone's TikTok, I have to send it to you, where she's like, hey, Sally, yeah, did you get that report? Oh, yeah. How's the kids? How's the like,
I mean, literally. And then also this like millennial ability, like when people are like, what is the deal with like your brunches, like charcuterie boards, mimosas? And it's like Capri Sun and,
Lunchables.
What were the things? Lunchables. Literally. Yeah. Why do you think we love charcuterie boards and literally just a juice drink? Something with the juice.
Like, why do you think girl dinners and girl lunches is a thing of like just having like a charcuterie board? Because that was what lunch was. A Lunchable was our lunch.
I mean, literally.
A juice pouch and some cheese and crackers. So why do you think it's surprising that we would just want to have cheese and crackers and
For a
like
meal?
juice? Yeah, for a meal.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. I feel like part of mine, when I think about it, it was so like, if I think age 6, I still feel like I was in the cult. I really didn't have like expectations except for to make it like to paradise, right? That's intense for a 6-year-old, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I already knew I know why I already knew that because I was also one watching way too many like advanced movies. And also I don't know if it's old soul or like, undiagnosed ADHD. I'm still trying to figure shit out with my childhood.
Oh man. I got diagnosed like in middle school, but
yeah, no, I got diagnosed at like
my freshman year of college.
how old was I? I was 27, 28 when I got diagnosed.
Sheesh.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's earlier than some people. Some people never know. Some people find out when they have their kids and their kids get diagnosed.
Well, I was like a latchkey kid. So even though I was diagnosed, my mom was like, my daughter does not need medication.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I was probably like 20 when I got like re-diagnosed. So not very much more than you. Okay. Next question, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes, or if you're vegan, decide. Okay, what is the easiest way to break your trust?
Ooh, Lauren, I don't.
It's the card. It wasn't me.
Where did you get these cards? Are these like those TikTok cards of like how to like become more intimate with your partner? Like build intimacy.
There says it's called the So, a collection of questions for deeper discussion.
I want to hear yours first.
Easiest way to break my trust. Like if to abandon me, to bail on me. I think that's an easy way.
Yeah. I think I get that one. I'm trying to think because I feel like when I heard the question, I was confused of like how to answer the question. Like trust. It's like, oh, like you lied to me, so I don't trust you anymore. I feel like my thing is that like I don't really trust people off the bat. I think like, yeah, so like I feel like you have to earn my trust, but I think like things that like negate you from like getting up in a level. I think it's terrible. I'm very like observant, but my thing is like follow through. Like if you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. Like as minimal as the task is, or as I keep track of that. Like I just remember that. I wish I don't remember things. Like I wish I didn't. Like it's again, ADHD guys, I'm on a loop. Like I remember a lot of things that I wish I could forget. But I don't. But then I don't remember things that I should remember. It's like the weirdest things. I remember the things I don't want to remember, but I forget the things that I should remember. But anyways.
Yes. And I was reading and I was like, man, my memory. And they were like, it's just like a short-term memory for me that it's just not there.
Yeah. It's like the weirdest thing. I have to like, I should look more into it, but then I also don't want to look more into it because I feel like I'll just get depressed. Because like, there's just so many depressing things when it comes to ADHD when you find out about yourself. I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right now. But I'd say like if you said like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna do this, like I'll like, yeah, I'm gonna go and get this done, and then you don't, like I feel like I just don't trust you. And I think it has to do with like a thing with like disappointment type of stuff. Cause I feel like, if you say you're going to come and do a task, like cause I follow through, you know what I mean? So I think, or just communicate and stuff. I think that's just my thing, but I think I keep track of that in my friendships and relationships of who follows through on the things that they say they're going to do.
Yeah. I think that would be, I think that's like the same as like not showing up, like when you said you were going to show up.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be there. Not even physically there. If it's literally like, hey, I'm not so serious to where I'm like, okay, hey, can you text me your lash lady? And the person doesn't text me the lash lady. And I have to ask again. It's not that, right? It's
No.
on the, hey, okay, we have a plan. You're supposed to do this, you do this, you do this, and I'll do this, this, this. And then you just don't do your this, this, that.
Or if it's like even in things of where like the person proposed it themselves.
Yes.
Like, I didn't even look for you. You sought me out. You know, I was chilling, you know? I think it's just one of those situations, like, you know, like you tasked me with this. So I'm like, okay, you know, because I'm that person. I'll be like, all right. And then you don't go and like you hold up your end. And it's like, I didn't even want to hold this end. I didn't want to be here. I wasn't looking for this. Wasn't my thing. This was your thing. And now I'm here and you didn't even follow through. So like, I remember those things. So.
Okay. Do you feel that we had deeper discussions and we're ready to get into the baggage for today?
I feel like those warm-ups, I'm like already having existential crisis about having that. Like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, ugh.
Why? I feel like those were good questions.
They were good, but like I didn't expect to have to be that vulnerable right off the jump, like again. Like shit. Like you could give a girl like, especially after the last episode I was on, like come on, like coddle me a bit.
Okay. This week, this month, I can't believe it's January. So I guess this season, well, how was your New Year's, right? Like what was your rose? What was your thorn?
Of New Year's Eve or like
or
the
all
of 2023?
You could do 2023 or you could do New Year's Eve. Did you do something?
I did. I went out. I had dinner with my mom and my sister, and then I went to my friend's brother's house. So my friend was visiting my best friend from Georgia. Hey, Michelle. She was visiting for the holidays, and so her brother was like hosting like a New Year's Eve thing. So then I went and I watched the ball drop there with them, which was like a new thing for me because usually I spend New Year's Eve or watching the ball drop with like my family, but so this was the first year we were all kind of like separated. But I like it was understandable why we were doing it because if we were all together, we probably would have been kind of like just sad together because we would have probably just been in my grandma's house and like we would have felt like the emptiness of like my grandfather not being there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like this year, my grandma made an effort. Like, no, she went to my cousin's house for a party. It's like, no, I don't want to be sad this year. I'm going to go out. We're going to do this thing. So my mom met up with her. My sister was exhausted. She had come back from a ski trip. So she had dinner and then went home to bed. And then I went and I hung out with my friend and my godkids. And it was nice. It was different. And there was like a little moment where like I felt a bit of sadness, but for the most part, it was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was that your rose and your thorn?
There's no thorn. There's no thorn. I think it was just a rose. I think, I mean, the one thorn is that like I spilled some of the coquito that I was bringing on like the car seat, like the chair, like my mom's front seat. So it was sticky. So then I had
what
to sit
is it that you brought?
Coquito. It's like this drink. It's like a Spanish version of I guess like eggnog, although eggnog is in it and stuff. It's like a really good like drink. But in general, like no thorn. And maybe that has to do with like my outlook for 2024 if that's a thing. Or maybe because there just wasn't any. It was a pretty decent holiday season. No thorns. I think, you know, it goes without saying, my grandfather not being there and dealing with grief and the sadness and all, that shit's always going to be there.
It is.
So it's technically not a thorn. It doesn't count. You know what I mean? So like me, you know, like being sad or me having like a moment where like I teared up because, you know, like I'm not with my family and that's hard. Like it's just a growing pain because that's eventually going to happen. Like, you know, like when you go and date or like marry someone, you're going to split holidays. So that's just a growing pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like, you know, me missing my grandfather, that's never going to change. So all in all, it was just roses, no thorns, honestly.
I
for
love
New Year's
it. A
Eve.
bouquet.
Yeah. It was just a bouquet. Yeah.
So now that it's a bouquet, we're talking about, I'm on this like, for this month, I really want to dig into like liberation, right? What that looks like for yourself, right? We've been
Mm-hmm.
hearing the words a lot. I feel like we know what it is on a global scale, and that could be another episode. But we're talking about how we're trying to live liberated lives. And the first part was like, how would you want to design your life?
I don't know. I feel like, and again, I know what Lauren means because obviously we have she does not just spring these topics on us like in the moment of these calls. We talk prior for a few minutes before we start recording, and she is very thorough and type A-ish as I am as me, because we're not fully type A, but we're type A-ish because
Right.
we got a few letters after the A of like
Right. I'm B minus. I'm being honest with it now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she had mentioned designing, but like now that I'm like thinking about it, because again, control freak, recovering perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, you can want certain things for your life and you can set up things that I guess you can set up parameters or routines to design it to get you to where you hope to go. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm also old enough, wise enough, been knocked down enough to know that life, universe, God has different plans for you. And so like
Right.
there's just a sense of things being out of your control and like just learning to not be as rigid, like to loosen like the clench fist that
Mm-hmm.
I guess or the reins a bit. I
Mm-hmm.
think like I'm the balance act. I think it's just, which is hard when you have ADHD, like how to like go from like, it's like either you're clenching your fist and you're trying to control every little thing, or
Or
you're
you're
just
like, I don't
like,
care. And then you're like, oh,
yeah. And
clutch.
like it's like clench and then like, oh, laissez faire and blah, blah, blah. And like, I think like that's just kind of what I'm ending right now. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
finished doing that whole year of just being like, it is what it is and fuck it because life is just gonna fuck up anything anyway. So who gives a fuck to have a plan and fuck this and fuck that? Like that's literally what it was. I was thinking about it. I was just kind of having like a fuck this, fuck that. Like, cause
Right.
like when you
Like,
told me
what's the
about like,
point?
yeah, like what's the
Mm-hmm.
point type of thing of like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was also just like exhausted. I
Mm-hmm.
think I've had some time to process. Also, just finished having therapy. And we were talking, and I was talking about how certain things that I'm doing right now in my life is
Mm-hmm.
just improving the quality of life right now. Um, and how like I think I'm realizing that I am coming, I'm learning the balancing act. I feel like I don't like to think about my grandfather's death or like this last year of my life as like
Mm-hmm.
a lesson, but if there are takeaways from it, I would say the takeaway is that yes, I cannot control everything and life is going to come in and fuck shit up and mess it up and you kind of just have to accept it for what it is and it's just kind of like how you approach it or how you bounce back or how you like let it affect you type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like prior to that, it was a very exhausting few years, like 2020 onwards to like 2023. And
Yes.
so I think I was owed a year of me just saying, fuck this, and just not give a shit and kind of go on to the other side of a spectrum. Cause like I've always been kind of like a bit of a control freak to then going
Mm-hmm.
to being like, I just don't care about anything at all right
Mm-hmm.
now and just taking life for what it is and like being pretty like on pause with life and
Mm-hmm.
had a rude awakening that you can't do that either. Like
Right.
you can't put it on pause. So now um these last few weeks at the end of 2023, I've kind of been doing the balancing act and
Mm-hmm.
it's nice. It's nice. I think I'm trying to get my life back to a 7. And 7 for me is like if like 10 is like utter chaos, like the world is burning, like it is a dumpster fire of life. Like I came up with this with my therapist. Like 10 is like the world bombing and everything. Like it's just super chaotic. You feel like everything's on a 10 and you can't breathe. And then 1 is just like you're the sea turtle from Finding Nemo. Like, dude, it's like just chill and relax and stuff. Like, I just want life to be a 7 because I know I will never be that. Life will never, I can never get to that because I know I'm too neurotic for that. Um, and just certain things culturally in my life and like being the oldest child, like it's just never gonna get to a 1. But I love like a 7. Like getting my life to a 7, I'm good at that. And I felt prior to like the wheels coming off the bus, life was at a 7. And so right now, I feel like my life is getting back to a 7. I'm kind of like
I'm loving
processing that. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that everything's great and it doesn't mean that everything's perfect because trust me, shit still sucks at times. But little things balancing out, like trying to balance controlling things and accepting that like you can have a plan or a design of what you hope your life to be for the next year or 5 years, 10 years in general at the end of all of our times. But also be open to the fact that shit's gonna get fucked up in some way and being okay with that. And I think I got banged up and bruised and I thought I knew how to handle that. And I'm realizing that I'm okay with it. Like there's a level of like, I don't care. Like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, it's just, it is what it is, you know?
Right. I feel like you're like explaining, like you're just accepting life as it comes because there's no other way kind of around it. Right. There's
Literally,
no only way around it is through it. I mean, which is a good thing. I mean, I like that you feel like you're getting back to a 7.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I would have
it's
gone
like
for a 5, a happy medium, but you're like, you're living on the edge. You're living on the edge with the 7.
Because I also know that like ADHD stuff, like you thrive in, not that you thrive in chaos, but you do well in chaos. I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm like freaking like Rain Man in it. But like I just maybe eventually, like right now, like when I decided life at a 7 is what felt feasible. So I feel like if I could get back to a 7 and maintain life at a 7, who knows? Maybe I can get down to a 5. But you know what? Like 7 was what felt like that felt like my Mount Everest at the time when I came up with it with my therapist. But I'm realizing like my life is at a 7 and life at a 7 or getting it to a 7 or like getting to this point of peace in your life isn't just fully carefree because I'm also tackling things where I'm just like, okay, like, is this peaceful or am I like sad? Like, is this peaceful or am I like isolated? Like, or am I lonely? Like, you start having like questionings because you're just not so used to peace that sometimes you're just like, shit's about to like pop off or like, or am I bored? Like, do I need to like busy myself? But yeah, like, I think right now, and I think this happened involuntarily. So for the design portion of my year right now, Lauren knows this and I'm sharing it. And what's so funny is that not a lot of people outside of my circle knows this. So if you're a friend and you're hearing this podcast and you haven't heard it from me, I apologize because I've been keeping this secret to myself because I didn't want to acknowledge this because I'm not pregnant, by the way. This is not what is I'm not acknowledging because I know some people are gonna think I'm pregnant. And that's not the case.
That's not it, guys. That's not it.
That's not it. My sorry, because some people will hear this, my friends, and they'll be like, oh my God, she's pregnant, or she's like gonna get married. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm running a marathon. I'm training for a marathon. I will be doing a marathon, specifically the New York City Marathon in 2024. And so I'm training for it. Yes, I'm doing this. And At first, I didn't want to acknowledge it because I don't really do physical endeavors like this. This is just not my thing. And part of it was because I didn't want to tell people or acknowledge it because I'm scared. And I'm still scared about it, of failing and not being able to finish it or do it or actually do it, because I could get hurt training and then, you know what I mean? You're leaving it. But there's just so many things. And this is just this big thing. And it's scary to me. And I just, when it's scary stuff, as you know, I just tend to just keep to myself and just not say it. So it's nothing personal. It's just that Lauren is doing this thing. So if I've slowly during the holiday season have been telling family members and friends close by that I've been able to see and get on the phone, like, hey, running a marathon, BT dubs. But so yeah, so I am so sorry if this is how you're finding out, but I'm running a marathon.
And so were you a runner before?
No, never ran a day in my life.
I'm not a runner.
Other than manhunt
I have
as a
such
kid.
mad respect for marathon runners. I mean, I was telling you this, when I run, I get this like horrible, like itchy feeling in my legs and I can't stand it. I have to stop.
Yeah.
Someone told me to try Benadryl before, but I was like, then I'll just be tired. Like, what are you saying?
You're allergic. No, not you trying to say you're allergic to running.
It's not. It's just like, it's like cortisone or something. But like you get like an extra bit of it and it gives you like this runner's thing. It's on my thighs. It's a very strange feeling. TMI, I'm petting that.
Are you though? Are you though?
Maybe, maybe not. I feel like, so that's a good, I like your decorations on designing your life. I feel like you're putting your money where your mouth is. Right?
Yeah, but that wasn't technically the intention. All right. So I fell into it. And you must be thinking, how does one fall into a marathon?
Right.
So I don't know if I should admit this on a podcast or not. Oh my God, this is so bad. Okay, so some might find this funny, some might not find this funny. I don't know. So I joke with some of my close friends that I could end up in a cult. Not because I'm easy, feeble or whatever would fall into it, but I'm just too fucking curious. I would just want to know more just to know more. I'm just so fucking nosy. I probably end up with 1,000-year contract with Scientology and end up in the fucking Sea Org because I just went in just to be nosy. Not because I believed it, but just because I was just so, and then I end up deep. So it's a thing. So we always joke about it. And so, and then the joke now is just I could be a cult leader because I had one friend, I connected two friends to each other that knew each other because we had gone on a ski trip. But I'm the middle point, I guess, kind of me and my best friend.
The Lego.
Yeah, the Lego of it. And so one has been doing the 9-in-1 program, running little races to lead to the big race, but then missed the final race. So then she was gonna have to start over. Another one did a 5K and was oh yeah, I want to run. And I'm why don't you do the marathon? So I looked up the information and then she's well, I want to do it. And I'm just you both want to run marathons. You literally were on the verge of death. Literally my friend almost died and survived. And I'm you should run. This has been your thing. This is on your list. Get it done. You want to run, get it done. And then somehow when I'm giving this powerful declaration speech and
you're
when they put their
I
credit cards down, I put my credit card down and somehow I signed up marathon. And so I could be a cult leader too.
Right?
My best friend says she's not joining that cult because she's not running a marathon, but that's how it happened. It was just me connecting and I'm too good of a friend is basically what it is. And now I'm running 26.3 miles in November of 2024.
Oh my gosh.
It's 26 point. I'm that good of a friend. I'm going to run 26.
That's a lot. I can barely run a mile.
Yeah, I hadn't run a mile either. So that's good. Well, I mean, I used to do crew and when I used to swim, I would do the 5,000 meter, which was 20 laps in the pool, when I used to do meets and stuff. So I feel I think I have the mental strength and stamina to get it done. I mean, I just ran 5 miles last this past Saturday in my training
Nice.
for leading
Mm-hmm.
up. Yeah. So, and apparently I'm not that bad. I run a 13-minute mile. So for a beginner, that's from what I hear from people that run, they're like, okay, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good setting. Like I'm tall,
Mm-hmm.
so my stride helps me.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, that's how I ended up running this. So like I was also hesitant, and also some people, were shocked that I was running this. Some commented saying, "Am I walking it?" And part of me, I'm also very competitive, and like I also like to prove people wrong. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
strong. I don't like working out because I don't have the focus for it, in the sense of like I get bored easily. Like you need to mix it up. Like I'm just not a girl that's going to go to the gym and lift weights in front of a mirror or run on a treadmill in front of a mirror. Like I get bored easily. I need to mix it up. So, but I'm going to do this. And so I didn't want to acknowledge it because part of me was doubting myself about whether I'd be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've declared it. I've told few people I have to fundraise. So I have to like get donations and stuff. I think I have to like fundraise $3,000 by next October.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing it. I'm training. And I'm going to be one of those annoying people that's just going to be like, hey guys, I'm running a marathon, because it literally takes over your life. Like there's a lot of stuff that you have to do to train. I have to eat like 2,500 calories. I have to hit
Mm-hmm.
these macros. I got to do these proteins. I got to do recovery. I got to do strength training. Like it's a lot. Like if I was to show you my calendar right now, just to keep track of the workouts, like it's truly a lot. So I kind of had to get back into like my control A type ish skills,
Mm-hmm.
and like make my plan and keep track of things, and
Mm-hmm.
to know what's going on, but also be, laissez-faire in the fact that I am a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be good. There's bad runs. I've watched a lot of TikToks. I know about the toes, guys. I know people are gonna comment about the toes. The amount of people that have talked to me about my toes, about how like I'm gonna get a black nail toe because like your feet gets beat up if you don't get the
Mm-hmm.
right shoes for running. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have consumed so much knowledge and information about running and marathon training that I am terrified, but I also know that it's gonna feel exhilarating, and there's good things to it, and so
We're gonna do an
there's good
episode
runs.
after you do your marathon.
Yeah.
Yes, we're
Yeah,
gonna
I'll tell you,
record
because
this.
see, a lot of people say like there's like this feeling when you finish the marathon, like you're just never the same. I kind of want to see if that's true, like you're never the
Yeah.
same. I kind of get what they're saying, especially if you're doing training like a year, because I'm truly a beginner. I don't run,
Mm-hmm.
I don't work out. Like I do little things here and there. I'm not like unfit, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't work out like that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think so in a sense I've had to design my life because I'm tackling this goal, which is I want to finish this marathon. I want to
Mm-hmm.
do it in a decent time. I know I'm not going to be the fastest woman, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be the last one either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to design my life into a certain way. I'm waking up at 5 a.m., going to bed at 9 p.m. now. Although in the holidays, I was still waking up at 5 a.m., but going to sleep like at 2 a.m. So
Mm-hmm.
even in the holidays, I was running. So like the 26th, I had to run. I've been running in like 30-degree weather. I had a bad run. And so just to finish the thought, like I know I have to be laissez-faire and kind of like let go of the reins, because some days I'm gonna feel great and some days my runs are gonna be shit because of the
Mm-hmm.
weather and because of things I
Right.
can't control. And
Right.
and it
Like
is what
I
it is. So
can't
I
imagine
feel like
running
it
and
is.
it's freezing outside.
Oh, it's terrible. Like I just did that recently, and my feet were like I could not feel my feet in the beginning of the run. It was
Mm-hmm.
so bad. And I was wearing heat tech like attire. Like I was wearing stuff that I wear when I go skiing and
Mm-hmm.
snowboarding, and I still
Mm-hmm.
was freezing. It is what it is. You
Mm-hmm.
just got to get it done. Again, I can't control that. I just got to get control. The only thing I can control is the fact that I wore whatever I wore to keep me warm, and I'm just
Right.
going to get the miles in. That's all I can control. I can't control
Yes.
anything else? And so that's
Yes.
just kind of been my approach to it. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of bleeding into other areas of my life. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently running is good for ADHD. I found out from
Mm-hmm.
my therapist and stuff, and I've been feeling that. So, yeah, I mean, it's been improving my quality of life. I've been mostly doing some of my runs by myself, which has been good. I like
Mm-hmm.
it, although I am running with other people, like on the actual marathon day, and like we're
Mm-hmm.
kind of like we're doing the same training program. I've only run with like one of my friends like twice. But for the most part, I've been doing it by myself. I thought in the beginning I would need people to hold me accountable,
Mm-hmm.
but oddly enough, I've just been doing it by myself and I've been enjoying it. Like I like running by myself or with Ivy, with my dog. She's been running that little bitch. I ran 5 miles with her and she still had energy. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I mean, she's a puppy, but I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I'm enjoying this and I don't know what the final product is gonna look like. And I think like
Mm-hmm.
that's again the balance act of like just running a marathon, like
Mm-hmm.
running the marathon
Is
is
enough.
enough. I
Yeah.
can't, I don't know what the rest of the painting is going to look like, but it's just going to be me finishing the marathon. I don't know how everything else is going to look.
That's freeing though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's enough, right? I mean, everything else that comes with it, it's going to be dope. Even if
Hmm.
it's like, dang, I pulled a muscle in my butt and I have to stretch now. I have to do an ice bath all week. And then
Yeah.
you stretch it out and you go back. Once you complete it, it's going to feel fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm
I'm
excited
inspired.
about
I've
it.
never done a marathon before. I'm not really a runner, but maybe I'll see it in 2020 this year and maybe I'll try it in a year.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny because I fell into it. This was not on my bingo card at all. Like, I did
Mm-hmm.
not have running a marathon on it. And I literally thought I was going to hate it. Like, when I ran that first mile that first day, I thought I was going to hate it. And I actually like liked it. That was the biggest thing where I'm just like, I like it. Like, I like running. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
hesitant to like, as I'm saying this, guys, I'm making a face to Lauren, like, I like it, like with utter disgust, like in disbelief of this. Like, I'm still, and part of me is waiting for the other shoe to drop because I'm hesitant to admit that I like it because it's scary. Cause like, I don't want to like be disappointed or lose it or something. I don't know. It's weird, but, I'm pushing through that
Mm-hmm.
and we're running a marathon. And like you mentioned, like it is liberating to just be like, you know what, just running the marathon is enough. But I also being aware that like it's not enough to just run the marathon. I do want to get it. I don't have a specific time goal in mind, but I do know
Mm-hmm.
that I want to run it. Like I'm gonna run it. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
walking. Like if I have to take certain breaks and certain, what my pace is, like I'll
Mm-hmm.
do it. But I'm not walking the marathon. Like I'm running it. Like I'm training a full year out and doing all these workouts to make my body strong and fit and tackle this and whatever comes with it will be the bonus, like you said.
Yeah, it sounds like a good design. And I feel like it sounds really awesome. And it sounds like a good way of creating not something necessarily to focus on, but like something that is like tangible for just yourself. Like you may have roped yourself into it, but you're into it. And I feel like you've already started. And so, you're already doing it. I feel like
Yeah.
for me, I'm trying to minimize a lot of my life. Like as I'm trying to design my liberation, one of my phases of liberation is moving abroad, which I'm doing, which is just, I mean, I feel like I tell people, but for my listeners, I am. And that's like in the next
She's
couple
leaving
months,
us.
and
Oh.
I don't know really the timeline, but I know that I'll be definitely coming back to do recordings and maybe live shows. Let's see.
Yes,
Let's
manifesting
see.
that. Not let's
Yeah.
see, we're doing it, man. I
Yes,
want to do a
doing
live
that.
show. Well, I
Like
want, you
that
know
would be
what?
fun.
A live show in Minnesota because I want to go to the Mall of America. Ever since I saw it on Mary Kate and Ashley, like one of those, like the Mall of America is in Minnesota.
But Minnesota, nothing against Minnesota. I just feel like chilly unless it's a summer thing. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
we could
gonna
go in
have
the
to pick a
summer.
warm time for a live show.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do it in the summer. Listen, I'm manifesting a full like 50 city tour for you. Listen, we're
Yes.
manifesting big things. We're going there.
Yes. I
I
feel
call
like in
dibs.
ways that like I feel like I've designed my life. I'm for one, I feel like focusing on this podcast a lot
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure out what it is that like my listeners want and also what I want to put out there because I feel like it's my podcast, right? And kind of seeing where that goes, which is exciting and kind of digging all the way in there and also coming to terms with like right now, my schedule, I'm very much like on a schedule right now, but it's not, I'm on a regiment, but it's like not for work. And it's very weird and very exciting because I feel like I've got a timeline until I move and I have a lot of things and I'm trying to really get to like a minimizing place. And it's been challenging, but also exciting. I think that's going to be a liberating thing for me because I've talked about it before. I had an obsession with things, right? Feel like I had a lot of a shopping bug, and I used to call it like a retail therapy, but I don't know if it was. I could call it like a fix. And I felt like, oh well, my things, like my nice things, things don't betray you. Things don't lie. They don't disappear. They're yours. They're your things that you can hold on to. And I felt like I'm not like a hoarder, but I have like a lot of things and I've got to get rid of so much to move that it is freeing, realizing like I can let that go. I can like compact things kind of how I want them. So I feel like in ways that I'm designing my ideal life or changing, it's a big career change, right? I'm not doing like the 8 to 4 anymore, which is weird, but I'm going for it. And part of me feels like, I'm not sure if I ever want to work in the office again. Right. But I feel like that could just be burnout. I'm super excited, but also scared about this relocation. But I'm going to definitely like bring my listeners on the journey with me because I'm very nervous. And see, I feel like, yeah,
but I think like
my design.
I think like it's funny. Someone once told me, like, you can do hard things. Like you do
Yes,
hard
you can
things
do
all the
hard things.
time.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we hold on to stories or things that we've told ourselves, or maybe someone has told us or put on us that
Mm-hmm.
we just can't. Like someone probably like told you like you're a hoarder. And
Mm-hmm.
like now you just have this idea of like, okay, like I'm a hoarder. And so I'm unable to like let go of these things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, no, you just needed a reason. You needed a good
Yeah.
enough reason to
Yeah.
push you to go and do the thing. And you're able to do it. I mean, it's evident. I mean, listeners, you've seen and heard the stories. Lauren does hard things all the time. I think her giving up a freaking crock pot is a walk in the park for her versus the hard things Lauren has done. So I think you just needed a reason. There was no, and I think there's something to be said also. I don't know if you want to add that to your topics for an
Mm-hmm.
episode. I'm a person where like I don't know if there's like a scientific like connection between like abandonment issues and attachment to things, but
Mm-hmm.
like there has to be something because
Well,
like I
for
know
me, they
like
definitely are. And I'm an anxious, attached person. I like to
yeah.
be a healthy attachment style, but sometimes I lean into the anxious. Mm-hmm.
Where like, like maybe it's like a thing where like I just like it's hard for you to let a certain thing go because you feel bad for like
Mm-hmm.
having to get rid of the thing. I don't know if it's like
Yes.
people are gonna think I'm like crazy. Like, I don't know. I read Marie Kondo and so like I started doing like the thank you like for your use. I know things are items and I know the
Mm-hmm.
candle doesn't feel anything, but I feel bad
Right.
the candle.
Getting rid of
Like, I don't
it.
know, maybe because I watched Toy Story too much as a kid. And I'm like, I don't like I'm sorry, I have to get rid of you. I don't have space anymore.
Well, that's what I'm
um
going to have to do. I feel like it's going to cost too much to do storage. And I feel like I really am trying to minimize. Like I've been taking my photos. I've actually been making an actual photo album, like vintage style, and also finding
mhm,
pictures that I like online and resizing them so they're in this photo album so I can bring that with me. I actually just put in the order because after this I have to go get my ring sized one more time because I can't remember it. But I'm having my mom's ashes like put into stones for like I'm doing a ring and a necklace and another ring because I don't want to carry, that around with me. But I feel like I
mhm.
can make heirlooms. And so that has been like a liberating thing because, that flight's like a 13-hour flight to Denmark, right? Like it's far and I'm
Yeah.
going and it's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I think you're doing it, and I think like baby steps and things that are, I think like again, it's sort of similar. Like you is just moving to Denmark. Me, it's like the
Hmm.
marathon, but the journey of getting to that place, although like we're doing things of designing where like for you, you're moving to Denmark. So it's just like, okay, like I have to pack up my things and
Hmm.
go, like move there.
Hmm.
And so, all the extra stuff that's going to come up are going to be bonuses because you've probably like, we talked about it, like getting rid of things and letting go and minimalism and like the like hoarding, whatever, is probably
Hmm.
things that you've always wanted to do in the past, but never had the big enough thing. And nothing is big enough of like, shit, I'm going 13 hours away. Like, I really cannot bring this shit with me. So
Right.
I'm going to have to start selling, Facebook marketplacing,
Right.
Craigslisting, all this
I
shit,
looked in there. I counted. I have like 50 bikinis.
Lauren. Oh, actually, I can't get upset because I did give you some of those. Like, I gave you like two bathing suits when I saw you.
I've
I'm
worn
like,
one, the one
you
with the
wore the
pink
pink.
one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the pink one was cute. It was a
Hmm.
vibe on you.
But I have so many like those. That just feels like a lot, and I can't take them all with me. I can't even use them all.
You can get rid of the ones that I gave you. It's okay. Don't feel bad. You don't have to hold on to them because I gave them to you. It's okay. I've given you my love.
Okay.
You
Thank
can
you.
carry my love with you. It's okay.
Thank
I
you.
release you from holding on to the swimsuit. Because like
Right.
I don't know, like I do that too. Like I feel bad because especially if it's someone that I care dearly for, if they gave me
Hmm.
that thing, it's really hard. It's
I mean,
bad.
I'm looking at my bookcase now and I'm like, I mean, there are a couple that I would like maybe like keep, but I've already read them, and it's just more stuff. And for me, it feels like it's just more stuff. Like I have an overage amount of handbags. And I understand that they could be like collectors, but at this stage, they aren't to me, right? Like now they don't look like beautiful pieces. They look like stuff. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm liberating myself from.
I think it's just like whatever makes you feel comfortable. See, I'm a person where like I reread books. Like the mat, I was just telling Lauren how if you're a rom-com girly, the
Hmm.
Spanish Love Deception is now available on Kindle Unlimited, guys. So you can go and read it. Especially if you get a Kindle, you get like 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for free. So you could go read it there. Anyways, I was telling her, I'm like, I reread that book so many times. Like I've reread it over 10 times. Like I reread books, I rewatch movies. Like that's why I brought out my DVD player and I own
Hmm.
DVDs because I rewatch movies. And one of the things I hate is that when I want to watch a movie and I can't find it anywhere to stream, it bothers
Hmm.
me. So I like owning physical forms of media, especially of media that I love. So
Hmm.
for me, it's just like that's a non-negotiable. Like I've always, that was my thing. I always wanted to have like bookcases of books. Like I always wanted to be Belle in like Beauty and the Beast. Like whether it was with movies or DVDs or with books, like specifically books that I love and I want to rewatch over and over and over and over. I want to read. Well, you watch them in your head when you're reading. I want to read over and over and over and over again. So like my issue is like I'm learning recently, especially with gifts and Christmas. And now that I have the Kindle, I could just ask for like a Kindle gift card. But that was like one thing where I'm like,
Hmm.
but the Taurus in me is just like, damn, like I'll feel bad giving it away, even though I know it's gonna take
I've got to give
the book
mine
I
away.
love.
Oops, I just hit my mic. I've got to give so much stuff away.
Oh
There's
my God,
just
show
like,
me some of the books. I might steal some if there's one that I love.
I might send you pictures, but
Send me pictures. Yeah.
I feel like in designing my liberation, right? I felt like my existential crisis is like faith wise has been restored and changed. And I feel
Hmm.
good about that. I feel excited about my upcoming move, although nervous and quite, I don't want to say overwhelmed because I'm so excited about what it looks like. And, the key word I'm using for 2024 for me is nurture and nurturing. And so, whatever that may be, whatever way that looks like, I feel like that's what it's going to be for me in Denmark and in the States.
Hmm. I think if I was to say, like, if I was to have a key word for me, it would be saying no, no, like saying like no to things. Because
Hmm.
like I feel like sometimes if you're into astrology, the Libra rising in me, I like to be like mellow and go with the flow.
Hmm.
And I need to be more of like a Taurus with things and just be like, no, like I don't want this, or like, no, I can't go here, or no, it's not, you know what I mean? And I think
Hmm.
like with the marathon, again, I'm gonna be that annoying person. Guys, I'm running a marathon. I have to prioritize my runs because I have to hit that weekly mileage because
Hmm.
there's certain miles you have to hit during the week because like you have two short runs that are usually like 2 to 3 miles, and then you have the long run, which is building up your stamina to run, leading up to like 26 or 18. So like some of them right now I'm
Hmm.
at 5 miles. So I have to prioritize that. So like that's the first thing that comes out. Like clear, my mornings have to be clear so I can run, which is why I wake up early and or
I've been
the
waking up
fact that
early to pray, which is wild, right? I'm just
really.
now learning it, and I'm like, and journaling. It's been very interesting, but I'm up early too. So if you ever need to be inspired, I'm literally awake by
Oh
like
my God,
6:10 every
yay. I
morning.
want to do like morning savers, savers morning thing where you just
No,
like
what is that?
oh my God, it's like this book thing where it's just like you have like you do your like meditation, affirmation, visualization. It's like this book. It's called like The Miracle Morning. I'm gonna Google it and I will look
I
it up
wonder
so I
if
could
it's
like
on Kindle Unlimited because I have that.
yeah. I have to see, I have to send it to you. But I think no is my thing. I think I have an issue. It's my issue where it's hard for me to prioritize myself.
Hmm.
And I just because I wanna it's just natural in me, maybe like I just wanna like help and take care of others. And I guess this year with the marathon, I'm prioritizing myself because I don't want to hurt my body when I run the
Right.
marathon. So that means I gotta do these workouts and these weekly mileage stuff and eat all this shit and drink proteins and all that bullshit, whatever.
Hmm.
And so I have to say no to like if it's like going out late, or say no to not going to sleep at 9 p.m. like, or saying no to myself like you don't need to buy that, or you don't need to eat that, you need to
Yes.
eat this instead. I need
Hmm.
to like prioritize inner child healing and like mother myself and just say no and prioritize myself. And so I think that's my theme for like this year of designing my life is just saying no and priority or prioritize. I guess it's a phrase like prioritizing me. I don't know. I'm just focusing on myself, guys. I'm running a marathon.
This year, oh my gosh, I hit my mic again. I'm sorry, you guys, if it just sounded funny. This year, for sure, it's less is more and just enough on those. And I guess I always wanted to strive to be the best. And I think that, listen, if you're naturally gifted, the cream does rise to the top. But I'm not gonna like scrap to get there. I'm just gonna let the universe take me where it wants to go, and just continue saying yes and if I could do that, then it'll be good. Instead of like yes, but it's yes
Yeah.
and, right? Like, yes, I do have to get rid of a ton of stuff to move abroad. And I've always wanted to live outside of the country just to see if I'd like it. If I can keep that formula up, I think it'll be okay.
No, I think yours that yes and it's like yes you have to get rid of a lot of crap to move,
And
and
I'm
it's
gonna
giving
feel
you a
lighter.
reason to finally be the minimalist queen that you
Yes,
wanted
that
to
I want to
be.
be.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. There you go.
there it is.
Yes, I have to wake up super freaking early and run in the cold. And now I get to wear cute little running outfits. Like
Yes.
that's just no. I mean, there's other stuff, but like that just came to the top of my head right now because I'm wearing like a cute purple outfit right now.
I also feel like find the
Yeah.
wins and everything, right? So if it's that, like
Mm-hmm.
I love the workout top.
Thank
Like I
you.
love the
Target.
cut and the shape. But
Target.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I think this is amazing. I mean, God has not led you astray, honestly. I
Hmm.
know the times that we feel it
Hmm.
and there don't get me wrong, I've had my moments, but I mean, God led you to Clubhouse, and Clubhouse
Mm-hmm.
led us to each other, and God like led you to the podcast. And I mean, God hasn't, I don't think he's fucked up yet. I hope, like,
Right.
let's just see what happens. And God is leading you to Denmark.
I feel that. So guys, don't forget, remember this episode because there will be a check-in post-marathon. Of course, I'm going to continue this podcast, so you'll hear from me here or in Denmark or at an airport, literally in baggage claim,
Yeah.
but close enough. Close enough.
Ooh, you should do a photo shoot there as you're
I
moving.
know.
Like,
I was thinking that. I was really thinking that. Like, I have my nice camera. I'm wondering if I could just like get him to just take a few pictures. Well, I feel like we discussed what we were checking in already and kind of what our souvenirs were. Any final thoughts? This was such a fun episode. I always enjoyed doing this with you.
yeah, no,
And
I
you're
love
running a
this.
marathon.
I'm running a marathon, guys. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be annoying for the next year.
I don't think
No,
so, though. Is it annoying? Because you also have to just kind of remind yourself, like, this is what you're doing. This is why you're doing it. And if people find it annoying, like, then they'll tell you, like, enough with the marathon and then still don't stop because very few people actually do them. So, hell yeah.
yeah, no, I love that. Thank you. See, this is why I love talking to Lady Lauren, guys. She's just very insightful with stuff.
Right? I feel like you're
No.
insightful. Also, guys, one of the episodes that we will have Janelle on is we are going to do like, she has this like vault of a memory, you guys. And we're going to go circa 2000s reality TV, MTV, all of those
Yes.
things. We don't know when that episode, I don't know when it's going to drop, but I'm ready to tap in to that.
Yes. Velour sweatsuit and all, guys. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna buy one at Kohl's so I could wear it for
I
that
mean,
when we
they're
record.
overpriced now.
The juicy couture one, girl. I'm just gonna buy like a simple Kohl's coupon, get some Kohl's cash, and get a velour suit. Listen, it don't gotta be anything, but nothing to say other than I love our chats. I love checking in with you, and I cannot wait. I'm happy, but I'm sad. But now that just means I have more of a reason to go to Denmark. Yay!
Yes, exactly. And I will have reasons to come back and visit because it's like there are things that they don't have. I mean, I feel like that's why I feel like I'm not really leaving. You can always come back home to visit. I need some time. But okay, listeners, where can they find you? Do you want listeners to find you?
Yes. So I will obviously be doing a check-in with Lady Lauren once I run this marathon, guys, because she's running a marathon. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, at It's Janelle Torres. I will be posting, guys. I am coming out of the cave. I will be posting stuff. It'll be a lot of marathon content and other stuff that will be coming out of a secret vault that only Lauren knows about. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Awesome. You guys know where to find me on Instagram. It's Check In Your Baggage. On TikTok, it's Check In Your Bags. And my website is checkyourbags.com. I always appreciate it when you guys, if you like this podcast, please just like it, share it, drop a review. And I'm really trying to like buff up my social media. So if there's posts you want to see, you could just slide me a DM because I like your input. And thanks as always for listening. I have to cut all those ums out. And that's like a ton of work. But that's okay. What I always say each podcast, everyone has baggage. It looks different for everyone. And the gift or the gag is you can sometimes choose what you carry. So sometimes you can let some things go and just wear a clutch or a backpack instead. But thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.